He smiled while they broke me, the day the quiet student became the most feared name in the school assembly hall. It started like every ordinary school morning, gray sky, sleepy corridors, the smell of instant noodles from the canteen, and the familiar sound of lockers slamming like impatient hearts. But for Ethan Cruz, that morning felt different. Not because of exams. Not because of teachers. But because of what was waiting behind classroom 10B. Look who's still breathing. The daily ritual of humiliation. The moment Ethan stepped into the room, the atmosphere changed. 3 students turned their heads at the same time, like they were synced. At the center stood Mark De La Vega, the so-called leader of the group. He leaned back on Ethan's desk like it was a throne. Mark smirked. "Look who's still breathing," he said loudly. Laughter exploded. One of them flicked Ethan's notebook off the desk. It hit the floor with a soft thud that somehow felt louder than the entire classroom. Ethan bent down quietly to pick it up. That's when Mark stepped on it. Hard. "You still write notes like this? Bro, are you living in 2005? More laughter. Ethan didn't speak. Not because he couldn't, but because every time he did, it only got worse. A chair scraped loudly. "Say something." Mark suddenly snapped. Silence. Ethan's fingers trembled slightly, but his face stayed calm. That calm irritated them more. "Why don't you just disappear?" The breaking point. Later that day, in the hallway, things escalated. They cornered him near the staircase. Mark leaned in close, voice low but sharp enough to cut. "You know what your problem is?" Ethan didn't answer. "You act like you're better than us, just because you don't fight back." One of them shoved Ethan lightly. Then harder. "Why don't you just disappear?" "Nobody even likes you here," another said, laughing. Something inside Ethan cracked, but not outwardly. He simply adjusted his bag strap. And walked away. But what no one saw was that Ethan wasn't weak. He was calculating. That afternoon, the principal called an emergency assembly. No one knew why. Even Mark was smiling, whispering jokes to his friends in the back row. Then the principal stepped onto the stage. "Before we begin announcements," she said, voice unusually firm, "we need to address something serious." She opened a folder. A thick one. And then, "I've received multiple documented reports, including video evidence, of consistent bullying in classroom 10B. The room froze. Whispers spread like fire. Mark's smile faded slightly. "That's impossible," he muttered. "Who?" Then the projector turned on. The screen lit up. And there it was. Every moment. The notebook incident. The hallway confrontation. The insults. The laughter. Clear. Unedited. Undeniable. A voice from the video echoed in the hall. "Why don't you just disappear?" Gasps filled the auditorium. Mark stood up instantly. "Sir, that's edited. Someone framed us." But the principal raised her hand. "No. It wasn't edited." She paused. "It was recorded by the student you thought wasn't paying attention." All heads slowly turned. Toward Ethan. Sitting quietly in the middle row. No expression. No smile. Just eyes that had been watching everything for months. "You never noticed I was learning you." Mark's voice cracked with rage. "You sneaky, you recorded us?" Ethan finally stood up. His voice was calm. But firm. "I didn't record you to destroy you." He stepped forward. "I recorded you because no one believed me when I spoke." Silence swallowed the room. Even breathing felt loud. Ethan continued. "You thought I was weak because I stayed quiet." He looked directly at Mark. "But silence isn't weakness. Sometimes it's preparation." The principal closed the folder. "This case will be handled with disciplinary action," she said firmly. Mark and his group were escorted out of the hall, their voices fading into disbelief and panic. But the real shock wasn't punishment. It was what Ethan said next. He didn't celebrate. He didn't smile. Instead, he turned to the audience. You don't stop bullying by becoming louder than it. A pause. You stop it by making sure truth can finally speak. The next day, Ethan didn't come to school. Some said he transferred. Some said his parents moved him. Some said he simply didn't want to stay in a place that only noticed him when he became evidence. But on his desk was a single note. If you're reading this, don't wait until someone breaks to believe him. Listen when they're still whole.